effectively, I'm not going to walk into Walmart tomorrow and start spitting in people's faces, but it's essentially the same thing.
You'll fart on them, though.
I'll fart on them. I will fart on them all day.
Oh, you'll fart a heartbeat, man. It's a good thing you can't spread COVID from releasing gas.
Yeah, I'd have killed 2 people in that parking lot.
It would have been genocide.
Yeah. It would have
That's horrible.
Biker down.
Immediate, yep. I crop dusted those people like nobody's business.
Presented by Memphis Shades, the clear choice for custom windshields and fairings for your motorcycle. And Wild Ass Seats, stay in the saddle longer and in total comfort no matter your butt or budget.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's a new week, new episode with 5 Dirty Bikers. We are coxless today.
We have no cock.
We have no cocks today.
That's every day.
Brittany's like, so what? That's it. Yeah.
Nothing new to Britt, but
Brittany's like, God, you guys are just so weird.
yeah. So Tony's under the weather, so he will not be on the episode this week, but we will try to keep you entertained nonetheless. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Today we're going to be discussing a pretty good topic that was a collaboration with Ryan and Percy. One of the worst things about being a moto content creator. But before we start, we're going to give you guys a little FDB news about the weekend schedule that we have that is tentative at the moment, but a lot of things are set in stone, so we're going to go ahead and review that, and I'll go ahead and read it. As far as we know, and that is solidified, the weekend of FDBM will be July 15th through 17th in St. Robert/Uranus, Missouri. Friday, July 15th, we will have a meet and greet at Uranus, Missouri. Tentative time schedule, we're thinking maybe 2 to 6, 3 to 6 around that area. Like I said, this is just a schedule that could possibly change, so keep your eyes and ears on social media, this show, and Discord. Saturday, July 16th will be the official FDBM 2022 event from noon to 4, which will be at Sellers Sexton Power Sports in St. Robert, Missouri. We'll be giving away prizes for possibly a couple bike categories. We'll also have the longest ride prize like we've done last year, and there's going to be lots of giveaways. So make sure you're down here for the event and win some free stuff. We will also have, and this is new, thank you to Brittany, we will have food available to purchase from Smokey G's Barbecue. From what I hear, it's pretty good. I don't know. Fuck.
Either way, it'll be spiced meats. And
It was
spiced
fine.
meats are always good.
It's gonna be good.
There won't be there won't be meat raffles, but there will be meat.
And cooked meats.
You sound like you're salivating from the barbecue, dude.
Dude, Midwest Barbecue's got it figured out.
That's right.
Oh, I know. I lived in Kansas City for 7 years. I know some barbecue.
Oh yeah, St. Louis style's good too.
No, not so much. Kansas City's pretty good though.
Yeah. Sunday, July 17th, we will have a group lunch at Hopper's Pub in Waynesville, Missouri, which will be from noon to 2. That's a great restaurant. We all ate there, minus Tony, of course, when we went out to Uranus back in April. Good food. Good atmosphere. Everybody should like it. So that's what we have planned right now. Keep your eyes and ears on social media and Discord as we get closer to the event because things can possibly change. Mostly it's going to be just times and maybe some other events or happenings that are be going on that weekend.
And we're sure that the Cox is going to come to Uranus this time, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, he will. He will be deep in Uranus.
I tried to get Dustin while he was taking a drink there, but it didn't work. He didn't spit it out on his mic.
I knew it was coming.
Damn spitter.
That's what she said.
There's too there's too many jokes with Cox and Uranus. There should be like a storm siren that goes off whenever Tony pulls into Uranus. It's here.
See, this is what I miss. I miss being around you guys for a couple of weeks while I'm half a world, away, because I don't get to talk like this with normal people.
Yeah.
He just called us abnormal. Did you hear? Like, he low key just called us abnormal.
Abby normal.
Yeah, Abby normal. Need a new brain.
Well, thanks for the update, Dustin. Anything else going on in Uranus we need to know about?
I don't know. I don't think so.
H.
That goes to the longest ride in Uranus.
We should totally give them a bottle of that.
We should.
That'd be so funny.
It comes in a tube.
Yeah, it comes in a tube, not a bottle. Just so
That's
you know.
what I mean. We should totally buy some and hand it out.
Any medicinal butt stuff should be given away.
Medicinal butt stuff.
Just saying.
Maybe some of that monkey butt. Maybe some baby powder.
Hey, that monkey butt is no joke.
Hey, speaking of monkey butt, can I share something? I mean, we're all friends.
Sure.
Can I share something with you?
Sure.
So,
Depends.
as you know, wasn't wearing Depends, but I'm over in Singapore. Have any of you guys been on this side of the world before?
No.
No.
Okay, so it's hot and as humid as a motherfucker. I have no idea how people ride bikes like we do over here, but it's done. But I was walking around the Botanic Gardens doing a little filming the other day for content, and it was literally, it felt like it was 140 with like 500% humidity. I had no idea how much I was sweating until I sat down on a bench to take a break and then got up to leave and turned around and looked at what I left behind.
You left a puddle of like ass.
No.
It was a puddle of ass fluid. I went back and tried to spread it around and wipe it.
Are you sure that you didn't piss yourself?
No, dude, this was bad. I had on like tropical pants or whatever, but the water just was going everywhere, and
Wow.
it was not pretty. And I didn't want people to say, "Oh, look what that American did." So I kind of went back and tried to make it look like it wasn't what it was. But
Wow. That's legit.
shit's hot,
right
dude.
there.
Shit is hot. I have no idea. I was thinking because I almost rented a bike while I was over here, but I got a little nervous. I drive on the other side of the road, no problem, but I got a little nervous about muscle memory coming into play, because
sure.
they're on the opposite side, and I thought, it's not worth it. But I couldn't imagine what it's like riding in this heat and humidity. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So you heard it here first. Percy ass puddle to bench.
Oh my God. it was not good.
Wow.
It was not good.
That is legit. I mean, that's a lot if you think about it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
I came back and had to jump immediately in the shower because I was covered head to toe. My socks were wringing wet. My pants were wringing wet. My
Wow.
shirt.
So the humidity, is it worse than Florida in the summer?
Oh God, yeah. Oh my
Gotta
God.
be.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you walk outside and within 5 minutes you're drenched.
A couple of years ago, I was in Fort Lauderdale. I never sweat so much so quick than I did in July in Florida.
So I would assume then, though, if you were in that all the time, you'd acclimate just like you do to any other temperature.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, everybody here, nobody walks around in coats. They're all in t-shirts and shorts or whatever. But
Right.
Well, we'll be excited to get you back here stateside.
yeah, dry. Hopefully, by the time I get back.
Just ask for some extra towels on the plane.
Throw those pants away, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a zero recovery system right there.
If you have to wring your pants out like a washcloth,
Yeah.
maybe give those to trash.
I mean, I
Yeah.
couldn't even imagine what it'd be like wearing jeans because these were like, these are like Columbia, those lightweight
That would be so
Columbia,
uncomfortable.
travel
Yeah.
pants. Yeah, couldn't even imagine if we were jeans. And people walk around here in jeans. I have no fucking idea how.
Could you imagine wearing like a suit, like or like that kind of?
Oh God.
Like shirt and tie business. Oh
No, I've had to do that in Louisiana, walking down the street, and that was bad enough in August. The suit and tie. Couldn't imagine.
It gets swampy down there too.
I think it's going to be hot in
Yeah.
Uranus when we're there in July too. It's going to be pretty sticky. I mean, sticky
I don't think it'll
situation
be
in
as-
Uranus.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be as bad as here, but
No.
it's from
No.
what I remember. And Dustin, I lived in Kansas City. You live basically in St. Louis. I mean, it gets humid.
It gets humid, but it's not
in the
Florida
summer.
humid or anything like
Right.
that. But I mean, once it gets 90 and there's 80% humidity, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't,
So, I don't know.
honestly, I don't care if it's hot as long as it doesn't rain all weekend.
Yeah.
Thunderstorm, a little rain ain't gonna hurt us, but a thunderstorm is the only thing that could ruin this awesome weekend we got planned ahead.
Or like a 3-day
Or like a
storm. You know what I
tornado.
mean? That would be
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I took a picture of the ass mark on the bill.
Good Lord. Holy
Oh man.
shit. That's a real thing.
Looks like two huevos and your starfish.
I know, dude. Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to make the con. I shot video when I was walking through there and took some photos. Maybe that'll make the final edit of the video.
The director's cut.
Yeah, the director's cut. Yeah,
Yeah, it's smell-o-vision.
so-
Need smell-o-vision on YouTube.
yeah. So unfortunately, this is a podcast, or I guess fortunately, you guys can't see this because it's a podcast.
It looks like a pressed fruit bowl, everybody.
But it's I don't know. Maybe it won't see the light of the day because I mean tonight we're talking about the challenges of being a moto content creator, and here's one of the challenges I've got. I've got a shit ton of video I've been shooting here in Singapore that I want to edit, but I still haven't had time to edit our trip to Uranus.
I was gonna say I probably ruined all that footage with my tuberculosis coughs. That was coffee all weekend.
I remember that. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's a big problem for me, especially this time of year when it's really busy. The first half of the year with us traveling a lot, it's just having time to edit all the footage that that you've shot out riding or whatever.
So let me ask you this then, because if you're saying that that's a challenge, do you think that the timeliness of your content matters when you put it out? So if you're filming something now in Thailand, is it going to matter if you put that out on your channel in 2 months?
I think the way I'm looking at it right now, does it matter? Because I edited. I did a shot I told you guys about going to the Harley dealer here and meeting Fletch, EG, and stuff, and I did that edit because that was pretty easy. I was just walking around and talking, and it was straightforward. But then I thought, shit, do I want to put this out because I haven't finished the Uranus footage.
You could do it like what's his name that does all the movies where he puts all the sequence in different order. Tarantino. Just pull a Tarantino, put it out whenever.
No, I'm not a Tarantino. But what I finally did decide, Ryan, was that it doesn't matter because I really want to get a couple of the videos out here and explain why I haven't been putting out content. Right? Because I'm a half a world away and going through this stuff over here, but. And then jumping back into the Uranus edits maybe in 2 weeks. I want to get those out, obviously, before we do our trip. But I think I've come to accept that sequencing is not critical to content.
Right. And I tried to, I learned that lesson last year with travel videos and stuff too, is I try not to link my video to a specific time and space, right? So if I'm traveling on Father's Day weekend, for instance, I'm not going to say it's Father's Day weekend if for whatever reason I can't put out that video for 3 weeks. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, shit, Father's Day weekend was 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So I try not to link my videos to time and space, and that makes
I'm even thinking that doesn't matter because how many people are actually going to watch that video on Father's Day anyway or right after? I mean, people are going to be watching a year later. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I remember when I put out my first Memorial Day video that weekend, there was a ton of Memorial Day videos that came out that weekend. Yep. So, I mean, I do think sometimes I do think there's a sequencing that happens where people are making content relevant to a very specific time. I myself, I shouldn't say I've stopped doing it because that's not entirely true. I haven't, like with some of my breaking news and the things like that I've done, that's definitely time sensitive, right? Because it's only going to have a shelf life for the period of time that I put it out. And then it's likely going to lose its value, where like maybe an install video is going to hold value for a much longer period of time because it's going to be relevant longer. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
like,
those are remarkable because my most popular video is a pin lock install on my Shoei helmet.
Right.
I got a comment. I got 2 comments on it yesterday, and I did that video 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that video of all the videos I did is getting the most hits.
To me, it's my tank badge video. It's like 40,000 views. Oh by far, dude.
I want to do that so bad.
That blows my mind, dude. That absolutely blows my mind.
100 views a week, no problem. I mean, that video is what got me is that it just shows you that like it puts you in the mind space of what people are thinking about when they're modding their motorcycles and what they think is going to make their motorcycle feel custom to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that video you hit it right at the right time because people just kind of started doing that, really.
Right.
And I see it a lot more now. I don't know how old that video is. Is it a year old?
Yeah.
2 years old already.
2 years old?
It's been 2 seasons I've run those badges on my tanks, yeah.
Well, I want to do it too, but those fuckers are expensive.
Yeah.
Well, how many of you are like me and you just got like a massive amount of content you shot laying around waiting for you to get to edit?
I don't anymore. I did when I had travel videos, but now I've really pared down my content. You know what I mean? So like when I do my talking head videos, I typically film that video either one day or the day of the release.
Yeah, because you're pretty good at speaking, so you can get it all done in one take, and it's just upload and
Sometimes I do, Percy. Like I'll record. I've gone into the habit now where I just bring my GoPro and then turn it on. So there are times where I'll have a whole bunch of stuff that I need to edit, but I struggle more with actually like I enjoy some of the stuff that I do, but I don't think necessarily anyone else wants to see it. So I struggle with making it more interesting for people to actually want to watch.
No. That's not where you. So we've always said, I think as content creators, you should you should make the stuff that you want to watch because it's going to keep you making content because it's going to keep you interested in your own thing. But what you need to do, Brittany, is you need to have content that's searchable so you can build your audience. That way, when you put out the video that you want to watch, your audience wants to watch it for you because they found you through your searchable content. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
And searchable content is like you need to do a walk around video of your new bike. And these videos aren't fun. They're creatively they're not fun, but they draw people to your channel so that people might be drawn to you. And then they'll listen to your content. And then that will build your audience so that when you put out your video, like you asked me about last week, you're like, oh, it didn't get views. That's not a searchable video. There's literally no one that's going to look for that video. The people that are watching, that are looking, I'm not criticizing you. I've done the same thing. I've put out video. Like, why would somebody look for me to do a travel video when I went down to see Dustin? Right? That's not searchable content. Right? However, the people that did watch my travel videos watch them because they were already watching stuff that I had done. They were subscribers to my content.
I mean, you make content to attract new subscribers, and you make content for the subscribers that you have, and you make content for yourself, right? Those are the three, I think, things that you do. I mean, my challenge is right now, as of yesterday, I've got 17 videos I need to edit. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
A lot of editing.
Yeah, it is a lot.
That's a lot. And I'm planning on shooting 2 more tomorrow before I board the plane.
So think about Brittany, think about YouTube as a Google search engine. There's 2 reasons and 2 reasons only that people watch YouTube. What are those 2 reasons? Do you know?
Information and entertainment.
Nope. Education and entertainment.
Okay.
Education
That's
and
what
entertainment.
I meant by information.
But they're the only two
yes.
reasons. So if your video doesn't fall into one of those categories, people aren't going to find it, right? Your entertainment has to be based on people that they're already subscribers, and the education and searchable content.
Did you say 2 reasons to watch YouTube or YouPorn? I missed the first part.
Yes.
You broke up.
Yes, both. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I mean.
Well, the latter has way more categories.
Right. It does. It's true. I mean, but truly, I watch porn purely for education. If I'm looking to learn some new moves for the weekend, that's where I go
for your camping trip with the fellas coming up.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
all 8 of them have been watching you.
I mean, that one might have crossed the line for me. That been too much.
Jesus.
Too much because now it's something that you can't stop thinking about, or too much.
What are these guys talking about? You poo.
Oh God! Thanks, Percy. Thanks.
So here's something we could probably all agree on. The comment section.
Oh boy.
See, I am a very small channel at this, so my comments are generally only nice. So I don't have to worry about it too much.
I don't get a lot of the crazy. I mean, I really don't. I do have people every now and then that just have anger issues.
Yeah.
Right. That just, for whatever reason, and I've had one guy like unload on me a couple of times about, he lumps me in with you YouTubers lying about stuff and blah, 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 blah. But you're going to have that no matter, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or walking down the street talking to people.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people have a mindset that there's only one way to live and one way to do things, and if it's not the way that they want you to do it, it's wrong, and you're an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You should have seen all of the flack I got for that Lowrider ST video. I got a video today I just laughed at and just deleted. I was like, I got this guy's a moron.
I love it because my videos, I would agree with Brittany. Most of my comments were like good for like about a year and a half, and then I started doing my talking head stuff, and man, some of those things have gotten some people pretty fired up. But I mean, you guys know me though, so I mean, I have opinions of the way I feel about some things, and when I started doing the talking head stuff, people chimed in, which this is what I say. I will take any comment, even if somebody's like, I think what you said was completely way off base or whatever. I'm good with whatever, as long as you don't come in and like start calling me names and that kind of stuff. But if you really want to create dialogue where you disagree with me, I love that, because that's right. That goes right into the word discord, right? I mean, you're trying to create dialogue, you're trying to create conversation, and I think that we have gotten too far where our society is so divisive, right? If we don't all have exactly the same opinion, we can't be friends. I think that's bullshit.
It is.
I think that you should be able to have a conversation with somebody who has completely different political views than you, a completely different feeling of what they think the world is like than you, and be able to still find some common ground.
Tomato.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some people that just, they can't think like that. I mean, I had one recently that just absolutely unloaded on me, and he really had to stretch to read into what I was saying from what he thinks he heard. It was like I had to read his stuff like 4 times to figure out what the hell he was even talking about, and then go back and look at the video and still couldn't figure it out. But he was just so angry, and for whatever reason wanted to vent in the comment section, about this stuff. It was just, it's just, to me, it's just bizarre. I don't even pay attention to those things anymore. I just either hit the delete button or move on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a little laugh, shake your head, delete it, and move on. Yeah. Let it be their problem, not yours.
Yeah.
Brittany, you said an interesting thing a little bit ago, and you were talking about how that you just bring your camera with you, and whatever happening is just organic around your ride, right? So if you're going to do a moto vlog, it's because your camera's strapped when you get on your bike and you're ready to go, right?
Yeah, so with Jared on the rides now, since he's here, a lot of times I'll try to just capture us talking about whatever. Or I'll try to ask him stuff that I think's interesting to talk about with him and just capture that. And there's no real plan for it. Before he moved here, I would have a general topic I wanted to cover and then just discuss it straight away and only record that.
Sure. Because I stopped doing what you're doing completely. So I'm either going to ride and live in the moment, or I'm going to leave my house with the intention to create content. I'm not doing both. So,
Gotcha.
and to me, that's made both processes so much more enjoyable. Because if I leave my house with the idea that I'm looking for cool places to take pictures with my bike, I'm looking for cool places to sit down and do a head talking head video or whatever, it makes that process more fun for me rather than feeling the pressure of I'm on a ride, I have to make content, that kind of stuff. That way I keep them entirely separate. And I remember distinctly a video that I watched in the last year of Dave's when it was in the middle of the pandemic and he was driving in downtown DC and he went to the monument and he sat on the steps and he turned around and he looked out onto the National Mall, and I was like, holy fuck. That was I was in the middle of the pandemic in a totally different way than he was. And that to me was this incredibly just eye-opening moment that of what was happening in the world. And it had such a profound effect on the way that I was viewing that and that type of content. And I think I say this because I can pick moments out of especially my friends. And for Dustin, I'm going to go way back. So I started following Dustin. I think I might have been his 23rd follower or something, super early on. And I distinctly remember I always used to get when he put out a video, I was always wondering whether he was taking me to work or taking me home, because I figured out really early on in his process that he was doing his moto vlogs when he was on his way to work or coming home. And so I felt like I was going on that ride with him because I also identified with his locations because they were felt very Midwest to me, right? Cornfields and these kind of things. And so, and it was just, it was that process. It's just one of those things that sticks out in your brain. I remember that time. I remember that thing about that. And so it's interesting, I think, kind of what sticks with you with those things. But those are the two things I remember kind of that stuck out when I started thinking about this, when we started talking about the topic. But
well, thanks for the feedback on that, right? That's that video was actually one of my worst performers, but I'm glad that you liked it.
Dude, it's one of my favorite videos, because was that the same video that you stopped underneath or near that bridge and sat by a picnic table and stuff too? Was that part of that video, or was that the next week or something?
I think it was the same day. I don't remember we said on the same video. That was when, it was just the one under the bridge where I was talking about how just it was really impacting me with just the negativity and
that's
the selfishness of people and stuff that that we saw going on around DC at the time.
Right. And see, so Brittany, there's a perfect example of I know Dave, and I've known Dave for 3 or 4 years. And so I was much more profoundly affected by a video that's not searchable content than an install video or something that might have been pertinent, like the video that he did on his bike rack thing that he uses to move his bike around in his garage. That's searchable content, and that video for me is not nearly as effective as a video that was personal, but I know him, right? So
that's immediately what I thought was.
Right, it's not searchable content.
Immediately what I thought. Exactly.
Yep, it's not searchable content, and it's one of his worst performers. One of my favorite videos ever. So of content.
It brings home the point too. to just like make videos that you want to make also. You know, it's not always about maybe getting people to watch it. It does make you feel better when people want to watch what you put out there. But you can tell, like the people that have joined and have subscribed, you can tell that it's those people are pretty consistent and they'll always check out your video, even if I don't know if they watch the whole thing or not. But yeah,
it's the two things. You have to do them both if you wanna build your channel. There's kind of no way around it, which kind of sucks, but you know.
But you know what's interesting is because I've had people reach out over the last several months, or especially probably over the last like eight months, and say, "Hey, I really wish you'd get back to what you were doing before," right? That kind of stuff, or talking, or just motovlogging and talking about things in general. But going back to what Dustin brought up, right, and talking about how people react to stuff, those things are getting harder to do. You know, because without thinking, okay, well, shit, this is something I really want to talk about, but this is going to cause a lot of crap, or do I want to deal with the backlash, or do I want to deal with, having to look at all the comments that I know are going to come back because it's not in alignment with, what other people think. I mean, I think that's part of like the struggles of being a content creator today.
Yeah. Going back to something you said a little while ago about being in the moment or writing just to create content. That was one of the reasons I stopped. Was because I wasn't enjoying my rides because I'm talking to myself with a GoPro on instead of enjoying my Saturday or my Sunday that I don't get all too often.
Sure.
And, I have to come home and everything that I spent the day doing, I've got to throw on the computer and edit for 2 days. But I have been considering picking that Route 66 series back up.
Sure. I wish you would, dude. That was just a great, that first video you did was pure art.
The first and only.
Awesome.
It was pure art. And I was so excited thinking about what was going to come in that series. I really wish you'd go back to that.
Well, me and my family, we just went to the Pink Elephant Antique Mall. I don't know if you guys remember that when you were here. It's on 66 there, right parallel with 55. And my family love going there. They love going to the candy shop. We like looking at the old knickknacks that you look at that like, hey, that used to be on my grandma's shelf back in the day, So I was like, man, I really should pick this back up because that was probably nowhere near a good performer for me, but it was the most satisfying and accomplished. I had more of an accomplished feeling from that video than any other video I made. And even though it didn't perform very well like I thought it would, I'm still most proud of that video than anything else I've done creative-wise on YouTube.
Well, but I'm telling you, dude, if you went back and did that series, I mean, I honestly, I thought for sure that like the Travel Channel or somebody would end up picking that up, picking you up. And I'm serious, dude, it was a work of art. It is a work of art.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a great video.
What took people 8-10 minutes to watch took me 2 or 3 days of filming, about 2 weeks of editing. Continuous hours every night. At least 2 to 5 hours, maybe a night editing, and then putting it all together. Picking the right time to put whatever music. I mean, I put everything I had into that. I was just glad that I actually got, the funds to buy a camera to actually do things the way I wanted to. I wish I had better equipment still, so I could make it the way I want. But I dealt with what I had, and I was proud of what I put out.
I tell you what, Dustin, when I came down, when your bike got wrecked and I came down to see you last summer, truthfully, in my head, that whole trip or that whole time that we spent down there would have been exactly the same, except we would have done it on our bikes instead of in your car. You know what I mean? Which means we would have been straight fucked when we got hit by the huge rainstorm.
I don't know so much. We probably wouldn't have gone down the river.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But if we had, dude, we would have been Kid Moto, jail, Dennis Rodman. Yeah.
But it was, I mean, all those places and all the things that we did, we visited, when you were talking about the Pink Elephant store. And then I remember we went by that graveyard when you were telling me the story, and we drove by the gas station and all of these different places that, you kind of took me on this route down there. And then, we went down by the river and all of these things. I was like, yeah, I mean, it was such a good time to go down there and do those things. And like I said, the only thing that would have made that better is if we were on our bikes. But those things, if you did that, like you were saying, picking up that Route 66 series really would be great. I mean, I think that it definitely is. I know you spent a lot of time on that, and it was such a good, it was just a really good, interesting way to view that portion of the area where you live. I mean, I being down there the 3 times I've been down there and have traveled along the river road up, through Illinois. There's such a very old world feel when you get away from the city, but you're next to the road or next to the river, and there's these winding roads and the tree canopy that grows over top of it. And it's just an area of the country, quite honestly, I never would have experienced had I not been down there a couple times. And so there's still value, I think, in all of those things and putting that information out there.
Sure.
I mean, even just going, one of the things that struck me when Dustin and I were riding through, and it's the first time that he and I have just gone off on our own, right? Just the two of us, and it was such a fun time, even though it was just like a day. Mm-hmm. That's when we were actually going in together. And I was thinking later, I just kind of envisioned, would it be cool to just be able to ride with somebody like that in an area of the country like that and document for a week, just
right.
Not even planning it out, methodically. And because I know you did a lot of planning and stuff with that video that you did, Dustin, but just being able to capture the moment, of the things that you come across, of the road disappearing.
Yeah, because I mean, I truly like making, I love travel movies. I love travel channel stuff. Brittany put out that video last week where her and Jared went to that, what was that town? That little bitty town?
It's Stamping Ground. Yeah, it's the same one Ryan was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Just, I love going and experiencing the history of these places I may never go, but now I want to. Because you bring the viewer there. There's big value in that, and it was for me. And I watched the whole video.
That's what happened to me when you guys put together that video last year of Kentucky before the meetup last year. When I was watching,
those were fun videos.
I get they were fun because we know each other. But for me, I was seeing the white picket fences and the old colonial walls and all of the, it really brought me there. I mean, I went there and I wanted to see the dick in the road. I mean.
There's a dick in the road!
You will one day.
So,
Still looking for it.
So the dick in the road brings up an interesting point, and you guys were touching on it earlier because I'm kind of in the
touching
same
on
point.
the dick in the road.
You're touching on the dick in the road.
I desperately want to get to the point where you guys are, where I just take the camera off. Right, every time I leave the house, I just don't take the camera off my helmet. It's there, and every time I think I'm at the point where I'm just going to take it off, a dick in the road happens, or Dustin and I are going down a paved road that suddenly disappears, because it's moments like that. I mean, you don't know when you leave, you're going to come across stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the ability to capture it, it's gone. You can't go back and recreate
this time when we leave the pilot station, if that's where everybody meets to take off to go down 64 to 44, make sure your batteries are charged up so you can get shots of the arch, because I felt so bad for you there was no traffic around us. You had the perfect shot of the arch. The lighting was good, and your battery just shit the bed.
It wasn't the battery. It was the fucking GoPro, dude.
Oh, okay.
I am so pissed at GoPro. It's just, I don't know how much footage I've lost. And it was absolutely beautiful. I was so hyped. I'm like, oh my God, it's there. And every time I was like, oh fuck, it won't start.
So let me let me say this though, Dave, because I'm just gonna make one argument about that. Okay. We were on a ride with Tony when his bike got completely fucking covered in cement.
Another example.
You were recording.
If I did not have my camera.
What's that?
If I had not had my camera,
right,
no one would know that.
You were recording and I was not, but I lived the moment, and it's not any less enjoyable because I don't have it
because I was doing the fucking work. That's not proving a point.
Yeah, it is. Because you're saying I wish I could take my camera off. Living there's value in living a moment that you don't have to document. Now, what I would argue is this. I think the moment that you captured when you were by yourself in DC, that's when you need to make sure you have your camera on.
Because that was intentional. That was planned.
I get that, right? But that's a moment that no one can share with you, right? So you had to share that moment with everybody else. I think different than living a moment that you're sharing with someone, right? Because you can always revisit that memory. Anytime I want to talk about fucking cement on a motorcycle, all I need to do is pick up the phone and call you or Tony, and I'm gonna be right there again, dying with laughter. So there's that part of it too. The fuckery that I get to is, a year and a half ago, I put out 2 videos. I recorded them back to back. They were the easiest videos I've ever recorded, the easiest motovlog videos, and the motovlog videos that almost every motorcycle content creator has made. 5 reasons why I love my Road King, 5 reasons why I hate my Road King. Okay? The 5 reasons why I love my Road King has about 4,000 views. The 5 reasons why I hate my Road King has 12,000 views.
People love to hate. They love to find out.
Love to hate.
This goes back to what we were talking about earlier. People love to find out what you like and they don't, and they want to call you out for it and be assholes.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. They love the word hate. They love to hate.
Yeah. I mean, you put hate in the title of any video, and it's going to get you more play than if you took it out. It doesn't matter what you hate. I mean, you can hate the word hate, and you'll get more plays because it's there.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do 5 reasons I hate the 5 dirty bikers video.
Tony, Brittany.
Hey, and you don't even have to name yourself. You can name me and Kim Moto.
There you go.
There you go.
There's your 5 reasons.
That'll work.
Oh, man.
That's too funny.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I keep going back to, and I know I've said it before, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse when I say it, but I think about Dustin when I think about this too, is I feel like I'm documenting a time that's going to be beyond me. And I've thought about that even in terms of our legacy of this podcast, right? I think that there's a time in motorcycling and in our history in motorcycling that's being documented by the podcast, that's being documented by the content that I'm putting out there, that's going to live beyond me, that my daughters, and I hope my daughters and my grandchildren, if I see them or don't, or great-grandchildren, will be able to look back and say, that was my grandpa, that was my great-grandpa, and he did some kind of cool shit. And I think that I've thought about that differently in terms of my legacy in motorcycling, is that I feel like that's what I have an opportunity to leave behind, that I can leave my mark on motorcycling that way. I don't have to be a builder or a painter, and I'm not taking anything away from them, because this is what I have to offer, right? I can't do those things because I'm not that talented, but I can do this.
Let me ask you this, Ryan. Were you thinking about what your grandkids and your great-grandkids are going to think when you were talking about the glow-in-the-dark condoms earlier?
That was not being recorded.
Oh,
it was not being recorded. So
if my grandma brought up a joke like that, I'd laugh my ass off.
and you know what? You guys know me well enough to know that if I say it, I typically stand by it. So, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of sword fighting condoms as being something that my kids or grandkids might hear. So
this is Star Wars 12.
Is that 12 inches or like 12 series?
12 inches. Return to the shit.
Oh, man.
The all 8 final chapter.
Oh my God.
Brittany, you said something that you said something that I agree, I understand why you said it, but I disagree with the context of it a little bit. You said, well, I still have a small channel, right? Well, if you look at it in context of what a big YouTuber is now, we all have small channels. Like big YouTubers are fucking millions and millions of subscribers, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, somebody that has 100,000 could still say they're a small channel when you look at, some of these people that have 1.2 million subscribers and they're doing camping videos or whatever, right? So that's a relative term. I think what you need to think about is that when you're putting out a video, regardless of whether it's for you or for your audience or whatever, that video might resonate really well with, just like the example I gave with Percy. And so then that video becomes part of their lexicon of what's important to them. So you might do a video that you really like and it might do nothing. And you might do a video that you really hate and it might get you a ton of views. But either way, it's going to have value to someone. And that's going to have an effect. That's going to have an effect beyond that content that you've put out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, Ryan. You put out videos pretty regularly, probably more regularly than any of us here lately. What would make you stop?
What would make me stop? Right now, number one, I have to say that I enjoy it, but I get into a funk like anybody else. And so I feel the pressure to do something. I would say right now it would have to be if there was some sort of significant change in my life. Say my wife got really sick and it required me to continue to work, but then also take care of her after. I'm blessed right now that I have a family that supports all of my passions in terms of allowing me to be able to do those things, allowing me the time to be able to be on the podcast, allowing me the time. And I carve out that time too. Right. But like, I'll give you a perfect example. Last weekend, Friday night, I changed all the fluids on my bike. Saturday, I rode 260 miles, and Sunday I did an install of footage that I have to edit. But my family allowed me to have that time. I don't know if I live someplace warmer, if I would do it more than I do it now, because I think I would have to divide my time differently, right? My wife knows that there's 8 months out of the year that I don't ride. I'm home with my family every weekend, that we can do whatever we do every weekend all that time. But my window of opportunity to do this is short. And so I don't really get a lot of pushback from my family. When it's nice out, I mean, it's nice out. I might come home from work, and if it's nice out, my wife will say, "Why don't you go for a ride?" And knowing that
Miss Kid Moto, she just rocks and she's hot. You've got like the best thing going on there, dude. Absolutely.
I'm fortunate, and I do count my blessings. But I guess to answer Dustin's question, it would be a change of life. It would be the same thing with the podcast, right? I think I'm in it till the wheels fall off, and it would require a change of a change of a life circumstance that didn't allow me to do it, which is kind of where I'm at now. I'm kind of in it for the long haul. I don't think I'm going to be a content creator forever. I do think it has a shelf life. I think I might be a podcaster longer than I'm a content creator in terms of.
Well, I was going to say, don't you think it's easier to do a podcast than it is to create content for a YouTube channel?
Yes.
Yes, I think yes. And well, okay, let me say this. I think it's easier to do this as a team than if I was doing, if it was a one-man podcast show, I think it's just as much work as a YouTube channel. Right?
I was going to agree with you. Yep.
But we're all in this as a team. We all own some of this podcast in a different format that we are putting time in outside of this, that is part of that machine. If you were just one person and you were all by yourself, then it's going to be no less work.
Well, it's also because of the friendship involved, right? And the fact that we can just come up with something and not have to plan, right? Because we all know each other, and it's just easy.
Yep. And I think we have a good balance.
I remember when I first came onto the show and we talked about the topics, and I was like, man, I feel like I need to be prepared for this. Now we get to like the day of recording and I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's do this again. I have no idea what you're going to say. But I think So, Ryan, I think you brought up a good point, though. Another aspect of content creating is that it does take time out of whatever else you have going on. And that can be a really big challenge for people.
See, I enjoy. Okay, so I have to say this. I enjoy all parts of this motorcycling for what I'm in it for motorcycling right now. I'm enjoying all parts of it, right? I'm enjoying the content creation. Every season I've tried to bring something different to the table. Either like this last year, I started the Talking Heads. I have a drone that I'm going to try to incorporate some different stuff. I know you guys have given me a lot of inspiration for different ways to do travel videos this year. And so I keep wanting to evolve and change that process, and I'm enjoying that part of it. I enjoy the podcast. I'm enjoying motorcycling. I'm enjoying every aspect of it. And so for me, the time into it is kind of like fostering that like I don't do anything that other like Midwestern guys in my area do. I don't hunt, I don't fish, I'm not a lake person, I don't have a lake cabin, which is what a lot of other people in this area of the country do. This is what I do.
Don't ice fish? You don't go like
I don't ice fish, no.
Ice?
Absolutely not, right? So this is my passion. My hobby, all of those things wrapped into one. And so it's easy for me in that respect to not be tired of it or to not tire of it. There's kind of two of those things, I guess.
Yeah, it's confusing to me sometimes, and I don't know if I would ever feel the same way, where some people say, for your job, do what you love, because I would think that if you love what you do, and it becomes work, and you know how work can make us feel, it would make me not love it anymore.
Right.
So like I love being a graphic designer, right? Am I at the perfect place where I would want to do my job? No. I'd love to do graphic design for the motorcycle industry. I'd like to do it for hockey. There's lots of other places that would be the dream job. But, if I got there, would it make me hate the passion to where I wouldn't like it as much anymore?
Yeah, I think that you bring up a great point, Dustin, because I'll use this as an example. If you talk to or listen to people that are in the industry beyond the periphery that we're in, right? So talk to somebody that owns their own shop or talk to somebody that builds custom bikes. Okay? Now, some of those people they all started riding motorcycles. And oftentimes the people that own shops and build custom bikes don't ride anymore.
Yeah.
Because to your point, they've lost some of that passion for motorcycling because some of it has become work.
I think it's because it's not a hobby anymore. Usually I'm more passionate about my hobbies than I am my job.
Right.
Straight up.
Right.
Because you don't have that stress or pressure or anything around it.
Right. You just have fun with it.
Yeah.
No pressure on yourself. Yep.
Yeah, I think you see that you see that in professional athletes a lot, right? So they grew up as a kid loving basketball, right? And then they play it in high school, it's still fun. They play it in college, by the time of their life, they go into the pros. Now they're getting paid to do it. It becomes a job. All of that stuff's thrown into it. They retire. They never pick up a fucking ball ever again. Don't even shoot hoops in their driveway. They walk away completely and they're completely over and done with it. Right? Yep. I think that's exactly kind of feeds exactly the point that you're making about it, is that, could you love it and then love to hate it?
Yeah, because there's these inspirational video blurbs about go do what you love. That way you never work a day in your life. I'm like, bullshit.
That's right.
If you want to make money, you have to put in effort. And sometimes the effort will drive you fucking nuts.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, there's no. I
no, I'm not. Yeah, you get what I mean. But
yeah, for sure.
That's why I want to. I mean, we do this podcast. It's almost like a part-time job.
Yep.
But it's not it's not our means of income. This isn't paying our bills.
Right.
Right. So I think that's probably part of the reason why this is so fun, because it's a terrific fun hobby for the five of us. And I'm excited about the future.
Yeah.
Of it too.
Super excited. I I'm still surprised by how much our banter and fuckery resonates with people, that enjoy listening to us, because I'm straight full of shit. So, I mean, it just surprises me from time to time when people are connecting to it, and our topics are resonating with people. And don't get me wrong, it feels great. It's amazing, but it's still surprising to me every time. It's surprising to me.
Oh yeah.
All right, Discord friends, FDB's about to answer your questions. Make sure you head over to 5dirtybikers.com and click the link on the homepage to visit our Discord and become a member.
Ryan, this might be good for you. It's right up your alley since you're just getting back into the swing of things.
Mm-hmm.
Someone Mac says, suggestions for a new rider and their first 200-mile day. I have a trip to a Blessing of the Riders, and it's in Marietta, Georgia, which is 169 miles one way.
Ooh,
That
so they're
doesn't
looking at
sound that far.
over 300-mile day if they're going to go there and back in one day.
Yeah, that's about like the trip it was down to Scott City for me.
Yep. So I think that if they've never done a ride before like that, they're going to find out very quickly what they need to change on their bike to make it more ergonomically comfortable. You'll find out on that ride that day. You're going to find out if your seat's good. You're going to find out if your bars are in the right position. All of those things are going to be very evident after a full 300-mile day.
You'll find out if you need an ass pad from Wild Ass.
You're going to find out if you need an ass pad. Absolutely true.
Or a windshield from Memphis Shades.
Yep. I found out that my ass pad was not I'm still refining my inflation point. So
Really?
yeah, I inflated it, and then I took air out of it and threw it on my seat, and I went on our trip, and when I got to our destination, I actually added a little bit of air to it because I felt like it didn't have enough, and now I'm not quite where I need to be. So it's going to take a couple trips, I think, before I find the exact level where I'm feeling the most benefit from it.
Yeah, you'll get there.
But I think in terms of suggestions, I would say for some guy, Mac, he's going to find out that day exactly what's not working on his bike. But what I would say to him is that if he's 169 miles one way, he needs to be prepared for being that far from home. So he needs to bring the right gear with him. So like for me, if I know I'm going to be, that far from home, I always throw my rain gear in my bike just so I have it. I pack my rain gear and pretty much never take it out of my bike now, just in case I might need it. I do have a very simple toolkit that I always carry with me now. And then, of course, this time of year, I'll pack my heated gear. I might even throw my vest in there, depending on the weather, because I like to be comfortable. I like to be comfortable in terms of having my body temperature regulated when I ride. If I do that, I settle into my ride and I'm the most comfortable when my body temperature is regulated. So
I really like this one from the Poop Sock Peanut, which says, what is the best way the FDB crew has found to fart on a motorcycle while riding down the road? And I will say I have from time to time done the ass cheek lift, just so you can let that fart out.
Just don't do it in a turn.
Yeah, don't do it while you're turning.
Hey, this is a tricky question because you can't trust a fart over 40. So if you're sitting on a long ride and you squeeze out a fart, you could have a chaser there, and before you know it, you're sitting in your own chaser for a while on your bike.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. My suggestion: don't fart while you're riding, dude. Don't do it.
And don't fart.
What if you had a pair of like Depends or something, just in case?
Well, just bring an extra pair of jockeys and throw them in the saddlebag.
If I'm wearing Depends and still riding a motorcycle, I better get some fucking fist bumps. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Hear that? He wants fisted.
I want to be fisted.
If you're going to wear Depends, make sure that you adjust your wild ass seat to allow for the extra cushion on your ass.
That's right.
Little air out. I have heard of people standing up on their floorboards or pegs and just, shaking it loose.
Yeah,
or
that
down
airs
their,
the junk
down their
out pretty
leg
good.
if there's a chaser.
Yeah. That airs out your business good.
All right.
Kevlar,
I'll read the other one, too.
Kevlar doesn't like to get rid of a lot real quick.
That's hanging on, huh?
It's almost like you get an air bubble.
Oh, nice.
Then you got to get off and
Very
work that thing
nice.
out.
All right. The next one is from Deep Freeze Bob. It says, how do you pack for moto camping trip? Where should you plan to have most of the weight positioned on the bike?
Percy, how do you pack down your bike
never
for a long
moto-camped,
ride?
So
You know, I'm still trying to dial in my setup on the Road Glide. I had the Fat Bob dialed in pretty well as far as how I pack that out.
I think it's to me, this is a universal question, right? Because I think the most important thing you can do is make sure you have your weight evenly distributed.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Make sure your bags have the same amount of weight in them. If you got stuff behind you, say on your tour pack, make sure all your heavy stuff's probably toward the middle.
Yep. Yeah, it's about weight distribution is more than anything. So you don't want to, you're not going to fill one saddlebag with a 12-pack of beer and the other saddlebag with your clothes, right? Because now you haven't evened out the weight. So it's really more about weight distribution because, and I think what he's asking too is that, he said, where do you want the center of gravity to be? Well, you are the center of gravity. So everything else is going to be around you, either on the front of your bike or the back of your bike, whatever. Most of it's going to be behind you. So it's really just about evenly distributing that weight behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
So Das Uber Stinker says, what is one feature you will not go without anymore on your motorcycle?
What's that again?
What's one feature you will not go without anymore on your motorcycle? So I feel like that applies more to mods, things that you've changed.
Well, feature. I mean, I don't know that I'm there yet with this, but I will tell you that Are we there?
Yep, you're here.
Yeah,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
my earbuds my stuff's dying here. The hill assist on my Road Glide, not there yet to say I'll never live without it again, but holy shit, does that make a difference? Yeah, especially when you're loaded, when you're traveling. It's amazing the difference that hill assist makes.
I bet it is. It's amazing in my my car because I have a manual transmission in my car, and this is the first car I've had that has that, and oh my god, it's amazing. I bet it's even better on a motorcycle.
I'm gonna go simpler and just say wind protection. I won't ride without wind protection anymore. Some type of windshield, fairing, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm out for naked riding now. I mean, not naked, no clothes.
I'm glad you're not riding naked anymore.
No, I mean, I'll Lady Godiva it all day long. I just want some wind protection so I don't get a June bug to my dong. So,
yeah, those are strong now.
That's right.
I was leaning towards handlebars, taller handlebars, but I was also thinking about wind protection.
Yeah.
I can't live without the handlebars. Hard to have handlebars.
The one thing I really like on our bike is the external adjustable preloader. It's on the outside. You don't have to take a seat off to adjust anything.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably one of the features I like the most.
I just ditched that and got the Legends, so.
Hey, did I send you guys the photo of the price card on the Sport Glides over here in Singapore?
No.
You didn't send the photo, but you told us how much they are.
You told us about it, yeah.
$49,995 for a Sport Glide.
Crazy.
Wow.
Stock.
Anybody over there want to buy a Sport Glide?
Yeah. I'll sell you mine.
Yeah, those are Singapore dollars. So it's about 38,000 US dollars.
No, I'll sell mine and go buy two more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
No,
Or
you
late- or
actually
get a-
won't buy 'em.
I'd get a Laidlaw one done.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, yeah, those are amazing.
Yep. Coast Glide.
All right. So we do have a follow-up from C Shroom. I'm going to try to read this really well. It's long.
That's what she said.
He says, sorry I wasn't more clear. I follow a few people that have been part of the biker community, and lots of them bring up that we need to bring X back to clubs, community, etc. So I figure I would call it society at large, since not all of us are in a club, RC, or MC, etc. One of the things I personally am glad to see that's going away is that there's a lot less racial segregation than when he was young. I am happy to see the millennials and Gen Z being less concerned about that than their parents and grandparents were. So, what things do you all think that current riding folks should really bring back, and what things do you think need to be gone from the groups at large a long time ago?
Wow.
That's practically an entire podcast, that question.
It sure is. And
Maybe we should make it an episode.
he definitely made this more clear.
Yeah. I think we should shelf that. I like the question, but I don't think that's I don't think that's a straight answer. I think that's a discussion.
I do too. Let's put that on the schedule.
Yeah.
I'd hate to put him back
All
on the
right.
back burner again, but yeah, we'll credit him fully for this for a full episode.
Yeah,
But-
we need to shelf
but-
that. That's good.
But he has to tell us in the Discord, what does the C in shroom stand for?
You guys, thank you very much for weekly submitting Discord questions. We really like answering your questions, so continue to put out the Discord. And remember, our Discord is
Fucking free.
Fucking
free.
free.
It is free. Get in there, sign up for our Discord, be part of the FDB community. Lots of good people in there, lots of great discussions. So don't be afraid to jump in and become a part of our Discord. Please go to www.5wbikers.com. Check out all of our updates on our new meetup that we are not new meetup, but the updates that we have for our meetup coming up. We will also be posting updates of our bike build. As you know, Jared Weems and Blockhead are doing our charity bike build, and Jared has the bike now. And stay tuned, because I do believe this coming Sunday, Jared Weems will be dropping his video where he talks specifically about the bike build, the direction, and putting out some information about that. We already have some great sponsors on board. We can't put any of that out yet, but we have some great sponsors on board that are going to be helping us with this bike build. All sponsors in the community that you guys have know of and heard of. So I hope when you hear us talk about these sponsors that you go, and even if you buy a hat, buy a t-shirt, support these people, because they are great ambassadors of our motorcycle community that are helping us put out this bike and do this build and really get this money to a charity that will hopefully be able to make a difference in some families that have children with autism. We can't think of a better way to really affect this community than try to do our part to give back. And we are so grateful to be working with Jared Weems and Blockhead on this bike build. So go to www.5dirtybikers.com and you can find all of that information on there, information on our meetup, information on the bike build, and buy some merch.
Yes.
Get the merch.